Right, guys, we know the England squad, World Cup about to start. How are we feeling about England's chances?
I mean, first of all, I don't really mind the squad. There's not anyone that's missed out that I think should have been in there. You know, that they've got what many international teams haven't got heading into this World Cup, and that is experience at this level, getting deep into tournaments. So that has to be seen as a positive. But I just hope they're a little bit more expansive in the way in which they approach the games. I know that generally keep things tight helps in knockout competition, but I would like to see with the attacking players we've got open up a little bit.
Yeah, I think the nice thing that England had was that the whole debate around the squad selection was essentially players who aren't going to play anyway. James Maddison, yeah, it's great that he's been rewarded. He's not going to start. Callum Wilson isn't going to start. They've got a set 11. So it's kind of a nice problem to have. The issue is that draw is not working out well and that they're going to go on a crash course, which you'd expect at a quarter-final stage of a World Cup, but they're probably going to play a France, it's going to be Spain or Germany potentially on that path as well. So an easy-looking group for England. I think they're going to struggle deep.
Yeah, I think that being conservative, that easy draw is another bonus. It's been like that for like 2 tournaments now. But if we carry on, there was like 20 minutes against Germany that we actually looked like we could do something in the World Cup. But like Tom, past the group stages, I don't see us getting.
I'm getting deja vu to the Euro previews from 18 months ago, where I remember in the first 2 minutes that England and we were like swapping those words around. So we're allowed it one time, but now it's back to England, Liam Kelly. You talk about that the conservative draw, the conservative approach they have, and a straightforward group stage draw. How important could that be, given they've only got 4 days to prepare for the tournament, as those almost being like warm-up matches for when the tournament really gets going?
I'm not convinced that it's actually that good of a squad, to be honest, compared to the other teams. So that preparation's, it's always going to be bad, no matter whether there's 3 games before the tournament or whether it's like this one just leading up straight from the season. It's just going to be a weird one, isn't it, in the middle of a Premier League season. I don't see that. It probably helps that we have a bit of continuity, but I would hazard a guess that a lot of teams have got the same approach as us, and I don't think it's going to do us any.
I mean, they're playing Iran first game, right? And this is going to be great when it goes on Twitter when Iran have turned England over 2-1. But that's easier than what they would have had warm-up games anyway for a tournament. They wouldn't play a nation of Iran's calibre. They'd play someone a little bit better that you'd expect to do so. So it's a perfect warm-up game.
Yeah, you say that, but
They need to win, otherwise it's going to be problematic.
I'm not saying Iran are going to turn England over, but you know, they're the second highest ranked team in that group, aren't they? You did the preview, 22nd in the world, something like that. You know, I mean, I know world ranking points doesn't mean anything, but I don't think we should take them too lightly. And it's the kind of game that would frustrate England, I think.
If you're England and your second ranked is 22nd in the world, you're absolutely laughing at a World Cup. You could not have been gifted a better group than that from England's perspective. So, the original point, they couldn't have asked for a better way the fixtures have worked out. If you want to treat that as a bit of a warm-up game, which is going to be spectacular when Iran upset the odds and get.
Yeah, I think was it Tunisia at the last World Cup, first game out the blocks, and England needed a last-minute winner to kind of scrape past that one and get the 3 points. I could see it being similar, but I do think that at this World Cup, given everything that's happened, where it's placed in the calendar, the teams with the deepest squads will undoubtedly do better than in other years, because you know you've got the 5 subs rule as well, which means that teams can almost change half the team halfway through the match. And if you bring in better quality off the bench than your opponents, then the chances of you succeeding is going to be higher. And I think that's where England should comfortably come through the group, because of that extra depth and that extra the strength and the quality. But the deeper the tournament goes, I think that the other teams, like at the head of the market, your Frances, your Brazils, your Argentinas, have all got better quality and depth to potentially, you know, give them that edge.
So we're talking about that first game against Iran and it being a warm-up game. I mean, I'll be more on the side of it with Jake that it could be potentially tricky when you look historically. Liam alluded to it about England being conservative. Who should be playing for England in that first game to be more expansive, to potentially break down a team like that, and why?
It's going to be in the midfield. I mean, we had Rice and Phillips at the past tournament, and I assume it's going to be Bellingham straight in, which is a massive upgrade, I think. We're going to struggle, I think, with the full-backs with the injuries that we've had to be better going forward, but I think that's the only option, is to be more expansive, and I just don't see it whatsoever from this squad or from the manager.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a rock and a hard place, because if you try and play a bit more expansive, you can leave yourself exposed, and there's potentially a higher chance of getting sucker punched. If you're being too conservative, then you're just going to get frustrated and finish the game as a 0-0 draw. So you've got to try and find a balance. I'm of the mind that with the players that England have got at their disposal, just particularly in this group stage, in a group that we really, with the quality we've got, should be topping quite comfortably, is to just try a few things out. Play a 4-3-3. Play Foden, Bellingham, and Rice in a midfield three, and Rashford, Grealish, whoever you want up front. Saka. Just try a little bit different, and then the deeper you go, when you're playing the likes of France and you want to keep things a bit tighter, you've got the back three option, you've got the back five option. You can bring Phillips back into the fold and play him alongside Rice if you want to keep things tight. But in these early stages, I'd be going a bit more attack minded.
I honestly don't think it's possible for us to keep it tight anymore, considering the form that Maguire's in, or like a lot of the defence isn't really had that continuity that we've had in past tournaments. It's going to be a completely different setup, and Maguire's just completely out of form. There's no getting around it. If he's used Tammy Abraham as a excuse to use form, I'm not sure why we would be starting Maguire. But
I think that's probably the takeaway from the England squad, actually, that however you make that defensive side up, that whether it's a back four, back five, the entire back line just looks pretty average. There's nothing really there for England to get particularly excited about, which is probably why you need to ditch that conservative approach, particularly in group games where they're going to be favourites. They're going to be pretty heavy favourites as well. You need to drop potential centre-back there just to try and get another attacking player on the pitch and go for it, because the likes of Argentina, I think France have got first games where real potential statement makers. England need to ensure that they're kind of on that level to really send a little bit of a message. I'm not saying they're going to go out and win 8-0, but just to put in a confident performance as well that's going to match those other nations.
England missed out on winning the Euros by penalties. They got to the semi-finals of the World Cup. Why such a lack of enthusiasm for England's chances?
They've gone backwards, I think. I don't think they're built upon that. I can understand why Gareth Southgate approached a more conservative kind of defensive mindset in a way, because England at one point, particularly leading into 2018 and the 2018 World Cup itself, that there was an exciting style to it. However, the problem then is that there were defensive flaws. They tried to address that, and potentially it's a squad depth thing as well. The individuals available, you've kind of got to go for a team unit that covers those individual errors, and you can trust your attacking players to go for it. I think you've got to be brutally honest on England and say the last two tournaments have been very favourable in how the run happened. The best thing that happened to England was that third game against Belgium at the 2018 World Cup, they rotated. It was seen as probably better to lose. They were on a better side of the bracket. They got to a semi-final and they played a decent Croatia team, but they probably should have gone there. The conservative approach cost them in the Euro final as well. They scored early, was a potential really to go for it. They didn't do so. So I think it's probably that combination of factors. The talent's there, but they're a team that's always historically the nation that's had the talent there and has never delivered on it. So it's probably a mindset thing akin to a Belgium, perhaps you'd put England with.
I don't even know if the talent's there compared to other teams in this tournament anymore, but like Tom said about that match as well, I'd say in the Denmark match, they were it played into our favour that we went behind early in that game, and it sort of brought out this, well, we have to attack now. I don't see it changing. It's unfortunate really, because you would expect someone to play your strengths rather than your weakness, which I think that would be our weakness at difference.
Now you first, Jake, as short as we can. Can England win the World Cup? And where do you think realistically they will get to?
They can win the World Cup. They can. I think the squad is there, I think, to go deep. They need a lot of luck along the way to edge out some of the better teams. But I don't see a reason why not. Do I think they'll win it? No. I think they'll get to quarterfinals and get knocked out. Just given the collision course that they're on with France, and I think that France will. They've not been in great form themselves this year, but I think with the group stage that they've got, I think they'll be able to slowly build their way into the tournament like they did in 2018.
Yeah, I think quarterfinals as well as. I think the best we can hope for is probably semi-finals, but there's too many quality teams in this compared to the Euros that will get punished in Yeah, quarterfinals.
Yeah, no different from me, can but won't in my eyes again. Quarterfinals, collision course with France, a team stacked. Talk defensive frailties there, that's a team with attack that can exploit it. So yeah, abilities there, but I don't think they will.
Sporting Life has harnessed the power of XG to provide expert, detailed analysis on all 32 teams for the 2022 World Cup to produce the ultimate betting guide. Key stats, percentage chance and predictions, most likely stage of elimination, and expert betting selections. Sporting Life's ultimate World Cup guide has you covered for Qatar.